we need to pull together at this time and share the burden as best we can. I saw people out with chainsaws helping to clean up, and I think that's the way it ought to be. This is the time when we need each other, truly.
Thanks, Bill. Lake High School's football team took the field last night, but not to play. 13 ABC's Greg Bilazarian has more on what they were doing before a Browns football game in Cleveland.
Holding the giant American flag in front of thousands, Robbie Vasquez found his perfect place at the perfect time. Fitting.
They said if I was there, I would have died probably, most likely.
Because Robbie, luckily, was not home.
I called my mom. The warnings were coming on. And I said, get in the basement.
The June night, the tornado destroyed his mother's house. But Saturday night was not for reminiscing. The Flyers entered from a pro tunnel.
The most impressive part is see how fast they run.
Watched practice from the field and got to honor America.
It was sweet. It was unbelievable.
And then watched some good old professional football for free.
Maybe it's poetic, perhaps ironic, likely just a coincidence, but the team that's here because of a split second of bad weather sat in it for another 3 hours.
It was pretty neat when they started shaking it like it was waving, and the water was flying off, and it looked really cool.
It's a really good feeling. I can't wait to play our first game.
Somehow, this team enjoyed the rainy part of the trip to Cleveland. A positive attitude and football. What's more American than that? So that is why on a Saturday night in Cleveland, Robbie Vasquez and the Lake High School Flyers represented the land of the free. In Cleveland, Greg Bilazarian, 13 ABC, Action News.
It was supposed to be a day of celebration.
I was just laughing and saying that I can't wait to be done, and now looking at it, I wish I wasn't done.
We made it this far. We made it 12 hours before we were supposed to be in that building.
On the school's campus, flipped vehicles, traffic signals uprooted, guardrails smashed like tinfoil, and a high school destroyed.
We drove around, and it's like, wow, it's like we're in the movie Twister, and pretty much are.
It's crazy to think that 2 weeks ago I was walking through those halls, now looking at them, there isn't a hallway anymore.
This was the gym.
This is where graduation was supposed to take place.
Where graduation was supposed to take place, yes.
Superintendent Jim Witt says several schools have offered their gym, so the seniors can have the ceremony they deserve.
We'd like to do it as soon as we can to help the healing process begin, not only for our student body, but for our community as well.
And what about the current students? Where will they go come August? How long will it take to get this mess cleaned up? How long before a new building is constructed? And how will the students get back and forth to school?
We'll roll up our sleeves and we'll go to work because if anybody's been around our kids for any extended period of time knows they're worth it.
A silver lining to a very dark cloud.
We'll get our day, just it didn't happen today.
In Lake Township, Elizabeth Choi, 13 ABC, Action News.
And Lake Superintendent Jim Witt said they're going to make an announcement tomorrow morning at around 10 a.m. about where and when they're going to have their graduation services. They want to have the graduation as quickly as possible. He said the quicker they have the graduation, the quicker they can begin the healing process from all the storms. Meanwhile, students at Lake they want to show a sign of solidarity and a sign of unity, and they're asking that the community wear the Flyers colors, the navy and the white colors, through all of this to show a sign of unity. Now, the entire area of Northwest Ohio has been socked by these storms, and actually there's been a state of emergency declared by the governor. He was actually here touring some of the hardest hit sites. Here's 13 ABC's Christina Williams.
Crazy is how Governor Strickland describes the damage in Lake Township.
Well, it seems almost unbelievable that a force of nature in a matter of a few seconds could do the damage that was done. Cars mangled and twisted around trees. It's almost traumatizing to look at it and to think how forceful that was.
Nearly 7 miles of destruction stretches across Wood County, entire neighborhoods left in pieces. The Lake Township Police Station, a pile of rubble.
If you had to describe it in one word, what would it be?
Horrible. Horrible.
With 7 people dead and residents wondering what to do next, the governor is asking everyone to come together.
This is the time when we need each other, truly. And as I just was driving into this location, I saw people out with chainsaws helping to clean up, and I think that's the way it ought to be. We need to pull together at this time and share the burden as best we can.
Less than 12 hours after the storm, all hands are on deck, trying to salvage what's left and comforting those who have lost.
Buildings can be rebuilt, schools can be rebuilt, but it is impossible to replace a loved one.
In Wood County, Christina Williams, 13 ABC, Action News.
Now, crews are still in assessment mode right now. Governor Strickland plans on helping with state aid, and once there is a better idea of total damages, Governor Strickland will then decide if he will call on President Obama for federal aid. Now, we just learned that there is a curfew in place for the people who live around these hard-hit areas from dusk until dawn. They're asking that you stay off the street so they can do their job in assessing this damage at this time. Meanwhile, the people in the community are doing what they can to help out their fellow man, to help in the community in these relief efforts. Of course, this is going to take a long time. And of course, we'll be here to monitor the progress. Reporting live in Lake Township, Christian Brown, 13 ABC Action News.
Thanks, Christian. We'll be back with Christian in just a few minutes, so stay tuned for continued live coverage from Lake Township. Now, Congressman Bob Latta represents the 5th Congressional District. Lake Township is in his district. He did send us a statement tonight about this. He says, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the families who lost loved ones during last night's horrible storm. As we move forward, my office is committed to assisting officials at the local and state level to provide whatever federal support necessary to these communities as they begin the process of rebuilding." By the way, Latta has also canceled tomorrow's town hall meeting that was set in Fremont. He's canceled that because of these storms. Now, we mentioned Lake High School was destroyed in that twister. Well, the Wood County Federal Credit Union was located inside that school, and it too suffered damage. We're told that credit union will be relocated. You can get more information on that by visiting their website, which we have linked through our website, 13abc.com. Now, to another part of the area hard hit by what is a confirmed tornado. The village of Dundee, Michigan, under a state of emergency this evening after a twister blew through around 2 o'clock this morning. 13 ABC's Tony Geftis got a view of the damage from the sky today.
Hi, I'm Tony Geftis, along for the ride with Monroe County. This is Deputy Shoemaker. He's at the controls here, and we are surveying the damage high above Dundee in the Raptor. Take a look down below us. This is the Splash Universe Hotel Water Park, and you can clearly see the damage to the roof from what apparently were tornadoes that tore through the area earlier. Boy, when you take a look at it from this angle, it is really easy to see how quickly everything happened and how small everything looks. It seems like when you're up high like this, it would be easy to have a force of nature knock everything around. Area that was hardest hit as far as power lines down. We got about a mile here of poles leaned across M50. This is the road commission building that's roof blown off, wall fall in, roof trusses falling down right on top of the trucks. This here's a barn right there is what this is. This is the house that the lady was trapped in on Monk Road right there. She was under all of that debris when the house came down? Yep, they had to dig her out. Away, look at the car. We know they had M50 blocked off, and they were working on that for a long time. That car is smashed in, and that whole house is trashed. Wow. We can only hope for the best. I'll bring you around a gentle turn here, but you'll see the grain storage facility that's completely destroyed. Those are brand new grain storage bins that were going on. Now you can just take a look all over town, Kevin, and see all of these trees ripped right about 10 feet, 15 feet into the air, snapped. We're heading down Main Street right now. From this distance, it's tough to see the damage that's on the ground. You can see where there's a line cutting through the neighborhoods, starting at one end and then going all the way to the back of the other.
There's clearly a lot of damage in and around Dundee, highly visible from the air, but everyone we spoke with on the ground is thankful because it could have been much worse. High above Dundee, I'm Tony Geftis for 13 ABC Action News.
Now we have other views of the storm damage. These are pictures you sent to us. This first one, Lake Township emergency vehicle wrapped around a tree. There were some power lines also tousled in the storm last night. In Perrysburg, a silo destroyed by strong winds there. And then finally a view from Delta, a home completely leveled. All that's left, the foundation. Well, Lake Township was by far one of the hardest hit areas during last night's storms. But as we just showed you, other areas suffered extensive damage. We'll go to Moline next, where a subdivision was flattened. Back in a minute.
You're watching Christian Brown, Bill Horman, Blizzard Bill Spencer, and Joe Nugent. This is 13 ABC Action News.